Rod, we are back. Had a 1 week vacation and it took too long. I hate that so much stuff happens when whenever we decide to take a week off. Like
Never fails, dog. Never
we got
fails,
Jerry
bro.
Jones showing his ass with Michael Parsons. We got all this nonsense going on in the draft and the draft discourse, dog. And I'm over here like, bro, I wish we were recording, bro. I wish we were recording, but we're here. This is a beautiful Monday. We are 1 week closer to the 2025 NFL draft, man. So, for anybody who's seen the thumbnail for this episode, man, today's theme is draft hot takes. And I have several hot takes. Rod has a couple hot takes, man. So, we're trying to spice it up. We're trying to provide something different that not everybody's doing. And the opinions and hot takes that we have this week are very, very spicy. Nobody is coming the way we're coming. I guarantee. So, Rob, man, first things first, man. How you doing, man? How's your week? Do you have any draft or NFL or Miami Dolphins specific news that you wanted to run to before we get the show rolling, bro?
Well, Herbie, first and foremost, man, I'm blessed and not stressed, man. So those are two things you can never be upset about. In terms of Dolphin news, Teron Armstead retired while we were on break. You know what I mean? So that kind of dictates that kind of might dictate what we do in the first round of the draft. Sad, man. And you know what? Here's the thing with Teron Armstead, Herbie. He spent a lot of time hurt, as you know, that's been his thing in the career. But when he played for us, man, he damn sure was effective, man, and he will be missed. He will be missed, man. He will be missed, man.
Well,
Okay, True Blazer in the chat, man. Let's
first, man,
go.
we got True Blazer in the building, man. You already know how we do, man. Round of applause for True Blazers, ladies and gentlemen. Round of
Never
applause.
sleeps.
Round of applause for the number one True Blazer, man. Hey, spoiler alert, we will have True Blazer back on to recap the NFL draft, man. So we want to make sure that we have a fellow Dolphin fan to react to it. We're obviously going to do a live for the first round, possibly the second round, and then we're going to have True Blazer on to recap what the Dolphins do, man. So, again, this is by the fans for the fans, man. That's the whole point, man. So, you ready to get to these hot takes, man?
Man, the floor is yours, my brother. The red carpet has rolled. Let's go.
All right, man. All right. The draft circle, draft discourse, my issue, and it's been long documented. I have several issues with draft discourse. I love the draft. I love the entire draft process. It was at one point in time my favorite part of being a NFL fan. I couldn't wait till the NFL season got over so I could get to the draft. But the problem with the draft is that people just can't. Nobody could be an ordinary prospect, bro. Somebody has to be the best ever since this. They remind me of that person. I had Sam Monson say that Ashton Jeanty had shades of Barry Sanders in him. I say, come on, Sam. Come on, dog. Like,
He went all the way up.
And I get it. You're incentivized to hyperbole, dog. Like, you can't sell average. Nobody wants to hear somebody saying, yeah, that guy reminds me of Michael Turner. Or you know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to say that guy reminds me of N'Kobe Dean. You got to say Ray Lewis. You got to say Ed Reed. You got to say Darrell Revis. It can't just be, hey, this guy seems like he's going to be a solid pro, bro. So that's one of my hot takes, but we'll get to that. But the one hot take I got to get to before I address that one is, this is a hot take, and I know a lot of people are going to be mad at me, bro, but I'm so tired of Shedeur Sanders fans, bro, because they're not football fans. They're not NFL fans. They're Shedeur Sanders fans. That's my hot take. I'm tired of them Negroes, man. I'm so tired of them. I'm so tired of them, Rod.
Oh,
I'm so tired of them. And the reason why I'm tired of them is because they are infiltrating something that they are not familiar with, which is draft analysis. I was on a YouTube where they had Dan Orlovsky, where he was saying, he just mentioned, all he said was, I don't know what to make of Shedeur Sanders. Because 75% of his passes were behind the line of scrimmage. And then sometimes I seen some amazing plays. So he's hard to get a handle of. They calling Dan Orlovsky a racist in the comments, dog. Say they hating on a black man, bro. Say they don't want a young black man with swagger to shine. I'm like, how is he racist? The other black quarterback is the number one pick in the draft. What do you mean?
You know, Herbie, that I think that's the problem nowadays, man. It's like I think people have forgotten, Herbie, that it is okay for someone to have an opinion that is not like yours, and you don't have to take it. You know, that's the problem,
To
Herbie. It
the
goes to what you said.
extreme.
They're put it like this, Herbie. Their beliefs, their takes, what they see is already to the extreme. So of course they're gonna look at negativity on the complete opposite end too, and that's just what happens. Like Herbie, I'll throw it out there. I just wouldn't. I just wouldn't advise a team to draft Shedeur top 10. I just don't. I don't think he should go top 10. That's not saying he's a bad prospect. I think he could be a good first round quarterback, Herbie. I think a team that maybe doesn't know what they're doing at quarterback, like the Steelers, should draft him, or a team looking for an heir apparent like the Rams, right? I feel like he would fit better there, given his skill set, given what he can do. I just like look, Herbie. When it comes to Shedeur Sanders, I'm not going to deny the things that pop out on tape, right? He has a tremendous football IQ. We get that. He's an accurate quarterback. He's smart. He's a tough guy. He plays with poise. Obviously, he's the son of a legend. So, there are a lot of things. He's a guy that has shown, I think he had like 11 go-ahead scores. Shout out to the homie G Baby. Okay. G Baby in the chat. G Baby in the chat. But look, man, look, as good as Shedeur Sanders is, Herbie, and I do think he's a first round talent. Like I think he should go in the first round. But when you think about first round talents, Herbie, I just don't see Shedeur going to a bad situation and being a massive difference maker. I don't think he can go to the Giants and you're going to see the best of Shedeur Sanders. I don't think he can go to the Jets and you're going to see the best of Shedeur Sanders. If he gets drafted in the later rounds, if he has a team that has an offensive line, because that's the thing, Herbie, he's more of an old school quarterback. He's not like a Lamar Jackson who's going to take off and run. Can he extend plays? Does he take off and get extra yards? Yes, he can do that. He's athletic enough to do that. But his game is a pocket passer, Herbie. He's a guy that I see in the NFL going, playing in a West Coast offense, precision type, timing. That's his skill set. So it's just, to me, when you put a guy like that in a Giant situation where their offensive line is always in shambles, you put him in a dumpster fire like the Jets. Herbie, I just don't think Shedeur Sanders goes to those teams and then those teams become that much better. Like, I just don't. That's just how I look at it.
And that's all we saying, bro. But bro. They out here calling me an Uncle Tom, dog, just because we said that, bro. Like, they calling me an Uncle Tom. And again, I have Cam Ward as the number one overall pick. Most people have Cam Ward as the number one pick. How can these same people be racist against Shedeur Sanders when they all have Cam Ward as the number one quarterback coming out? Who's blacker than Shedeur Sanders? Have you seen him? That man blackity black. Dan Orlovsky had Jaden Daniels as his number one quarterback last year over Drake May, who is black. So now Dan Orlovsky is racist just because all he said is, man, I don't know what to make of Shedeur Sanders. And it's just like, these dudes are not football fans. They're Shedeur Sanders fans because they're the same people who, if you said anything negative about Colorado last year, they were on your ass. You have longtime Deion Sanders fans and who adopted his kids and adopted Colorado and adopted Mississippi State. That's cool. I get it. I understand it. I know what it's from. It is an appreciation because Deion Sanders is unapologetically black. Shedeur is unapologetically black. I champion that shit. I love it. But I also have to be honest about my assessment and how I view Shedeur Sanders relative to other quarterbacks I've seen. Can Shedeur be a Hall of Famer? Absolutely. But Shedeur, his ceiling is the best version of Geno Smith, is the best version of Jared Goff. He ain't out here juking nobody. Mm-hmm. He's not finna do no Lamar Jackson shit. He's not finna do no Josh Allen shit. He's not finna do no Patrick Mahomes shit. He's not even gonna do Joe Burrow shit. If you want,
he's not gonna wow you, dog. He's not gonna wow you, dog.
He's gonna be a very efficient football player, bro.
Yes, sir.
Me saying that Shedeur Sanders, the best version of Shedeur Sanders, is an efficient quarterback, bro. That's a hot take in 2025, dog. So that's the first hot take, man. But we could ping pong though. So I'll give my hot take and you give me yours, bro. So what's your hot take, Rod? And I'll come back with mine for this.
My hot take, my draft hot take. Well, Herbie, I think we were planning on having this conversation, right? And I think I might be on the opposite end of it, Herbie. But I know we planned on talking about the Dolphins later if we have time, right?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I'll say it, Herbie. I'm definitely, if Tyler Warren is the pick at 13, I'm taking him, dog.
Okay.
I'm taking him. I'm
Okay.
taking him, dog.
Oh, we
I'm
are
taking him,
definitely
dog.
disagreeing. We're not disagreeing with the pick, but that's going to be one of my hot takes. We're definitely going to be one of my hot takes. So go ahead. Why is that a hot take? What in your analysis was like, we got to have Tyler Warren, bro?
Well, the thing I really liked about Tyler Warren, Herbie, and I get it. He's one of those guys who is more of an athlete than football player. But I mean, Herbie, you talk about a guy who has the ideal size. I actually have the measurables right here. He has that. He has the. Hold on, y'all. Going through. I write a lot of notes. 6'5.5", 256 pounds, Herbie. 31 inches in terms of his arms, in terms of his arm length, right? And you look at everything he brings to his package, right? He has good size, he has speed, sudden quickness. I do think he could polish up his route running, but he's an effective route runner, right? He's a guy who makes contested catches. He is the ideal playmaker at the tight end position that you want. And coming into the year, Herbie, what the biggest question mark about him was he just going to be like a pure receiving tight end, kind of like a Mike Gesicki, or could he adjust to blocking? And he did. He still has a lot of work to do in that department, but that's something he can learn. He's a willing blocker. He has shown improvement from the beginning of this past season to the end. He's a guy that can make the 50-50 ball catches. He's a specimen. He's a freak. He's a versatile player that you could use in your offense. And I can think of a guy like Mike McDaniel, right? He's about as creative. Like when he's at his maximum, like when Mike McDaniel's on his shit, he could be about as creative as any coach in the league. And you add a player like Tyler Warren to what the Dolphins have on offense, I think he could be a really good addition because tight end is still a position of need. And I think he could be. Listen, I'm not gonna say he could be Brock Bowers, Herbie, because Brock Bowers is Brock Bowers. I'm not gonna go there. He has already proven that. But Brock Bowers is what you would love to see that out of a first round tight end. And I'm not quite sure we're gonna get exactly that from Tyler Warren, but I think he can give you a lot of that. And I'd be happy with him, dog. I would not be upset if he ends up falling to 13. I hope the Dolphins pick him up.
Well, shit, man, I got some highlights of him to the left of the screen right now, man. So okay, so as somebody who has Jonnu Smith, you already have Jonnu Smith, man. You just gonna get rid of Jonnu Smith like you child liver for the white man, Rod? That's what you doing? You get rid of the brother for the white man? That's
Listen,
what
man,
you want?
We'll have a season of him and Jonnu together, man. They'll be the Twin Towers, man. Poor man Grockin Hernandez, poor man's
Okay, so what was the film? What was the breakdown that just said we gotta have him? What was that light bulb that said we got to have Tyler Warren at number 13?
There was a play. God damn, I can't remember who the team was, but they ran like a trick play on the play where he was streaking upfield. It was kind of like one of those, like a flea flicker, where they pitch it to the side and then they throw it downfield. And the way, and like the catch that he made, Herbie, it was such a beautiful, hard contested catch. It's not like the defense was caught slipping, and he just rolls up effortlessly, makes a tough contested catch look like it's nothing. I watched tons of plays of him just making those crazy catches, getting open. He played well against some of the better competition in college. I mean, he's a guy, Herbie, that when you watch him on film, to me, like he stands out. Like when you watch film, there are certain guys who just scream impact to you, and I feel like on damn near every play he screamed impact to me, Herbie. Outside of when he was blocking, like when he was blocking, obviously that's like a department.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
and that's going to speak to one of my hot takes is and that's going to come back around. But no, not to cut you off. What were you saying?
No, but all in all, Herbie, I think when you watch the film, dog, like you see it, bro. You see the athleticism, dog. You see him just little boy
Absolutely.
these niggas on the catches, man.
Like I'm
You
looking
know,
at it right now. This is catch radius, speed, size. Like this is
bro.
against USC. That's not no Mountain West dude, bro. This is against USC, bro. And he was the best player on the field. This is against Oregon.
Think about this, Herbie.
Unstoppable.
He's a guy that he's guaranteed to create mismatches in the NFL. He's a guy that you can depend on to make 50-50 passes. He's a guy that could be used in the red zone very well. I mean, Herbie, I think he will be a great addition to just about any team he goes to. And if he just so happens to fall to the Dolphins, and the Dolphins rarely make a move like that, I'm totally expecting the Dolphins to make a move. I'm not expecting. But man, if he falls to 13, I would love to get him. I would love to get him, dog.
All right. Okay. Awesome, man. All right. So let's swing it back to me, man. This is gonna be a hot take. This is a hot take. All right. Hold your horses. Buckle your seatbelt. I got an earthquake. I got a tsunami coming for y'all, man. Okay. Is Ashton Jeanty Trent Richardson 2.0? Maybe, kind of, sort of, maybe, kind of, sort of. All right, now hold on. Before y'all come at me, before y'all try to come at me and try to kill me and try to absolutely destroy me and find my IP address and dox me and put all my information out there in the internet and have people come with me with the SWAT team, I am not saying that Ashton Jeanty is going to have the NFL career of Trent Richardson, but I am saying whenever I hear people talk about Ashton Jeanty, it immediately makes me think about how they used to talk about Trent Richardson in 2012. I know that's a long time ago, and goddamn, it is a long time ago. It's fucking 13 years ago. Jesus Christ.
Crazy. Time flies, dude.
Time isn't a real fucking thing. But at one point in time, people thought that Trent Richardson was a can't miss running back prospect. People thought that Trent Richardson was a safe pick and probably the safest pick in the draft that included RG3 and Andrew Luck. People thought that Trent Richardson was, and I quote, a lot of people said, this is the best running back prospect since Adrian Peterson. There's some articles that said he was better than Adrian Peterson. I have the proof of it. But the reason why I think Ashton is going to be a better running back. Obviously, like, that's a very low bar to clear. Like, Trent Richardson was in the league for like 4 years. Like, he's going to be a better football player than Trent Richardson. I'm not saying that they're going to have the same career, but I don't like, and this is why I didn't like Trent Richardson coming out of college at Alabama. I don't like running backs who your best trait is that you break tackles. You're not breaking tackles in the NFL, dude. That's what happened to Trent Richardson. That's what happened to Leonard Fournette. There's only one dude that breaks tackles in the NFL. And that's Derrick Henry.
King Henry. That's it.
King Henry is the only person. He is a rare genetic freak that has the size, weight, and speed that nobody actually wants to hit him. But I looked up the stats. Like Saquon Barkley didn't break tackles. He only had 19 tackles broken. That was good for 13th out of all eligible running backs. Kyron Williams had more broken tackles than Saquon Barkley. He had 27 compared to 19. Derrick Henry had 42. If you look at the top 10 or the top 6 leading rushers last year, the average was in the 20s, 21, 22 broken tackles. That's not how you eat in the NFL. You got to make dudes miss. You got to Bijan that shit. You got to cut. You got to juke. That's how you get your yards. Saquon Barkley had 16, and this is going to sound crazy. I'm going to say it again. Saquon Barkley had 1,600 yards rushing before contact. He had a Pro Bowl season rushing the ball before contact.
Well, that speaks to both how good he is and how great that O-line was, too.
Bro, he averaged 4 yards a carry before he got touched.
That's incredible, man.
That O-line is, and that's the other reason when it comes to Ashton Jeanty and this conversation about how special he is and how amazing he's going to be and why you should take him in the draft top 10. Saquon Barkley did this for the team that let him go and didn't even trade him. They gave him up for nothing. That's when he had the best season. It's rare outside of Adrian Peterson or Ty Gurley, where if you're a top 10 pick, that you are truly a difference maker. There's people that are trying to say that Jahmyr Gibbs is better than Bijan Robinson already, bro. Because Jahmyr Gibbs is in a better situation. It is hard to dominate at running back. It's very, very hard to dominate at running back at any situation. It's going to be very hard for Ashton Jeanty to dominate in any situation. I don't think he's that type of running back. And when I hear people talking about him, all I hear is Trent Richardson. So with that, I'll let the people decide. And this is where I want the people in the chat, and I want to play a game with you, Rod, because I want you to identify. I'm going to have several scouting reports, and I want you to identify, is it a scouting report about Ashton Jeanty, or is it a scouting report about Trent Richardson? People in the chat, I want y'all to type. Rod, I want you to go ahead and figure it out. So,
all right, let's get it.
Here we go. Give me 1 second, and let me go ahead and get it ready. On my end, let me see.
This is what I'll say about Ashton Jeanty, Herbie. The guy led the league. He led college last year, right? He had 152 broken tackles. His yards after contact was 1970. His average of yards after contact was 5.25. Like, Herbie, you're not bringing that to the NFL, man. You know what I mean? And I understand that he is a guy that has excellent contact balance, like a la Alvin Kamara type. You know, like I get that, but at the end of the day, Herbie, at the NFL level, man, like you said, the highest numbers of broken tackles is in the 20s and in the 20. You know, when you have broken tackles, this is the part about broken tackles that definitely make Ashton Jeanty look extremely superb. It's the fact that at the end of the day, Herbie, a lot of times in the NFL and in sports in general, it comes down to a numbers game. And at the end of the day, when you break tackles, that's one less number to stop your guy from fucking breaking. So, yeah, when you have a shit ton of broken tackles in college, you're going to break for a lot of runs, and his highlights are crazy. You watch Ashton Jeanty highlights, and you're like, God damn, this nigga, he's incredible. And he was. I'm not knocking him. Anybody who drafts him top 10, I'm not. That potential is worth throwing a flyer on. However, to the point that you made, Herbie, I'll just speak to my own personal feelings. If I'm watching tape on a player, on a running back, and their number one trait is breaking tackles, it scares me. Because I understand, like you, like many other fans, you're not just going to go to the NFL and just break tackles like that.
Absolutely not. You're just not
going to go down
You're
like
just
that.
not. You're just not. And we'll go ahead and get this right here, man. So this is the first scouting report right here, Rod. And and you can see it, or do you want me to read it out to you?
You can. It's better if you read it out to me. It's the
All right, bet. Okay. Ideal building size, quickness to the hole, vision, tough physical runner, run behind pads, has good straight line speed, can break off long runs, shiftiness, excellent hands, phenomenal receiving ability, willing blocker and blitz pickup, has potential to be very good, hard-nosed runner between the tackles. Ashton Jeanty or Trent Richardson?
Trent Richardson?
Oh, shit. Rod got it right. Trent Richardson, dog. All right, okay. All right. I want to wait for the chat to hop in too, man. All right, man. Here go the second one, man. Has special combination of speed, size, strength, and elite combination of strength and speed. He gets yards at the contact from his strength. Is fast enough to break off long touchdowns on a carry, reception. He has the rare combination to ram through linebackers and run away from defensive backs. Trent Richardson or Ashton Jeanty?
So before I guess, I'll give anybody in the chat who wants to chime in. I'll let y'all get y'all. I have my answer. I think I know who it is, but you know, I seen Blazer. I seen you said Trent. I'm assuming that was
for the first one. That was for the first one.
Yes.
All right, so G baby, Jeanty, G baby, you got an answer?
Nah, that boy don't be watching college like that.
All right, who you got, Rod?
College like that. I'm gonna go. I think me and True on the same tip, man. I'm gonna go with Jeanty on this one.
Ashton Jeanty. All right, cool, bet. And Trent Richardson.
Oh. Well, damn. Well, damn.
All right, here go number
Oh,
3.
shit.
Compact and coil athlete is explosive, powerful, and balanced instinctual player who is patient enough to wait for blocks to develop within the scheme and change and cut in the backfield to daylight. A strong core that uses to break arm tackles to get physical, leverage under would-be blockers, a three down back who can be effective on screens out of the backfield catching the ball. Is big enough to remain the force in the power running game, yet small enough to remain elusive and hide behind blocks, man. Ashton Jeanty or Trent Richardson. The chat, it is for y'all. Go ahead, man.
Go ahead, chatty chat.
Go ahead, chat.
Damn, you know what though? Like, as you read these scouting profiles, because first of all, so far, okay. So Randy says Jeanty. Okay,
Andy got Jeanty. True, what you got, man? Who you got, Drew? True says Jeanty. Rob, who you got, man?
You know what? Man, I mean, after the last one, I'm reeling. You know what? I feel scarred, Herbie. I think I'm gonna go Trent, man. I think I'm gonna go Trent with this one, man.
Well, Rob, fuck you, because you already knew the answer. Because I showed you by accident, bro. So no, you don't get to get the answer. The answer is Trent Richardson again. Trent Richardson. What did I say? It's the same. It's the same, and these are 100%. I went back to 2012 on Google to find these scouting reports, guys. This is why I needed to have this blind test, because what I just said for Trent Richardson, I had multiple people say it was Ashton Jeanty. It's the same. That's why when I hear people are talking about Ashton Jeanty, it reminds me of how people talked about Trent Richardson in 2012. Now, should that be scary for Ashton Jeanty fans? Absolutely not. But you're not going to tell me that I'm crazy from my mind going there, bro. And I have one more for good measure, man. Scouting profile, number 4. Excellent strength, size. Excellent strength, utilize the power through defenders and fight for extra yardage. This helped them turn negative plays into positive gains, solid runs into big-time gainers, man. Routinely was tackled by multiple defenders with plenty of plays, where as many as 5 defenders had hands on him but couldn't slow him down. Will wear down defenses and dominate in the fourth quarter, man. Ashton Jeanty or Trent Richardson, guys. It's the last one, man. Who you got, Rod?
Herbie, knowing you, this is fucking Trent Richardson.
Chat, what the chat say, man? What the chat say, man? We got True Blazers says Trent. Randy, man, who you got, man? I think okay, so we got here we go, man. Boom. Ashton fucking Jeanty. Ashton Jeanty.
Oh shit.
And guys, don't kick yourself in the back because you didn't get it right. This is when it comes to this conversation about Ashton Jeanty and Trent Richardson, I just wanted to highlight this to show that, man, this is how it sounds, man. Like, I remember, like, we have this notion and we have this need to just act like stuff didn't happen when these conversations actually happen. When somebody is not as good as people they're expecting to be, they change the conversation and act like they never even said it, right? So here are a couple things that I have in regards to that situation, right? This is to give you an example of how people viewed Trent Richardson back in the day. I'm going to go ahead and look at some headlines real quick, man. This hurts. This is from my GOAT, Mike Mayock. My GOAT, Mike Mayock, said Trent Richardson is the best running back prospect since Adrian Peterson, dog. My GOAT said that, bro.
Ooh,
Why
man,
compare? This is Bleacher Report. Why comparisons to Adrian Peterson's are warranted? That hurts, man. I have some articles where dudes is deleting their stuff. You can't even find it no more, bruh. Somebody in here, and I don't know if you can see it, but this is from CBS Sports at the time. Here's the argument for Trent Richardson. He's better than Adrian Peterson.
Man,
Whoops, look like this page has been deleted or fumbled, bro. That man deleted the article, bro. He don't want that on his resume.
Man, that boy said, I cannot leave that place, man. No, sir.
That man deleted it.
Oh.
He didn't want this part of his legacy. I don't even know who wrote this, but it happened. That's a real article, man.
That shit got expunged from existence, dog. That's hilarious, man. That is hilarious.
So yeah, man. It's so rare for a true special running back to be a difference maker. To me, the only running back in my lifetime I would draft in the top 10 is Adrian Peterson, bro. He's the only person that I know would have been good on any team in any scheme, no matter what. He was that incredible. Bijan Robinson, I will die on my grave. Bijan Robinson is the best pure running back in the world right now. It's him and Derrick Henry with Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is a better athlete, but nobody's ever going to say Bijan is better than Saquon because Bijan is not running behind the Eagles' O-line. Mm-hmm. Like, Bijan had 92 missed tackles this season, bro. 92!
Ridiculous.
But he's wasting away over there in Atlanta right now, dog, on I-10. So nobody's going to say that, right? Like, it's hard to truly have an impact if you don't have the line, the players around you. Put it like this, right? Who was the second running back taken in the 2007 draft? A lot of people don't remember this, right? It was Marshawn Lynch. Do you remember who drafted him?
I think it was Buffalo, wasn't it?
You're right. How many you could Google Marshawn Lynch right now. You won't see a single Marshawn Lynch picture that has a Buffalo Bills jersey. It's not even a part of his legacy.
It's so true.
It's not
so
even
true.
A part of his legacy.
People forgot all about that shit, man.
You have to put Marshawn Lynch Buffalo Bills to see a picture of Marshawn Lynch in a Buffalo Bills jersey. Because his career with the team that actually drafted him, I think 12th overall, he was a disappointment to the Bills. He revived his career with the Seahawks. He became a Seahawk. He's iconic with the Seahawks. Most people don't even remember him on the Bills. Again, it is hard to truly be a game changer, dog. So that's just my hot take, man. I don't know what it means for Ashton Jeanty for everybody and so much of these draft profiles to sound like Trent Richardson. He might be Trent Richardson 2.0, or he might be the running back that Trent Richardson was supposed to be. I don't know. But don't call me crazy for making a comparison, man. Don't call me crazy for making a comparison, man. Yo, man, dog. All right, man. All right. You got another hot take, or do you want me to get my last one?
Nah, I don't think I have another. Let me think. Is there a hot take? No, there's nothing that comes. I think I had something, but I didn't write it down earlier. So
It's cool, man. We went long on the Ashton Jeanty one, so I'll keep it short. This is my last hot take, guys. Right, I'm sorry, bro. But no, we not drafting tight ends in the first round, bro. We done.
I knew you was gonna say it.
Cut it out, man. We're not gonna let Brock Bowers change what has been the history of the NFL not getting it right when it comes to drafting tight ends, bro. Like, the NFL has a problem, a draft evaluation with tight end problem. Like, the history says that, the data says that, all the analytics say that. The hit rate on a first round tight end is surprisingly very, very low. The reality is the best player or the best tight end doesn't come from the first round. The best tight end in that draft is normally not the first tight end drafted. History says that. In 2010, do you know who was drafted ahead of Rob Gronkowski? Eric Ebron. Ugh.
Oh, shit. That's the name I haven't heard in years.
Listen,
years.
So here we go right here, man. I got you right now, man. I'm gonna go back to 2010. My bad. It wasn't Robert. It wasn't Eric Ebron. My apologies. It was Jermaine Gresham. So going back to 2010, these are the tight ends that were drafted in the first round. I want you to tell me who is unfortunately, Randy, I'm a Cowboys fan, and that is one of the worst mistakes I ever made in my life, dog. Terrible decision on my part, bro. So I'm gonna go ahead. Hold on, let me get this ready on my end. Give me 1 second. Boom, boom, boom. And boom. Add the scene. All right, man. So I share this tab instead. I got a list of the first round tight ends going back to 2010. It could go back further, but we're going to start at 2010, bro. Jermaine Gresham, Tyler Eifert, Eric Ebron, David Njoku, Evan Ingram, O.J. Howard, Hayden Hurst, Noah Fant, T.J. Hockenson, Kyle Pitts, and Brock Bowers. We've had one star. We've had one star drafted in the first round.
Ooh, the history.
And that star got drafted last year.
That, man. Ooh,
that star got drafted last year. That star got drafted last year. This is from Shield Campadia, dog, right here, bro. Let me see this here. Can you read that or no?
I can't read it, no. I can't see it. It's on my screen, it's a little small.
I got you. It says, in the last 10 years, 9 tight ends have been picked in the first round of the NFL draft. They've combined for 0 all-pro nods and 1 1,000-yard season, bro. One of the 9 got a second contract from the team that drafted him, dog. David Njoku. Woof. Woof.
So what you're telling me is that tight end is the position that always looks good and always ends up being complete shit. That's basically what you're telling me, man.
Yes, because tight end and the more I've done the research for this specific pod or specific topic, the more I realize that 1, tight ends are very underpaid. 2, tight ends might have the hardest job on the football field, definitely on offense. They have to be offensive tackles and they have to be wide receivers at the same time. And that's what happens. That's where the problem comes from. A lot of these dudes that are billed as can't miss, Eric Ebron, who was 10th overall, T.J. Hockenson, who I think was 8th overall. And T.J. Hockenson had a good career, but he got drafted by the Lions, and the Lions traded him to a division rival, the Minnesota Vikings. That's how little they give the fuck about him. That's how unscared they were about him.
Yeah, when they punch you to your division rival, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck.
Like, they don't give a fuck, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get to you, Randy. Don't worry. I'm gonna get to you, my boy. It's hard because either you could do the blocking and not be good at the receiver side, or you could do the receiver side and not be good at the blocking side. And it's way more important for you to be a good blocker than a good receiver. I got 3 or 4 receivers out there. If you can't block, you can't run block, you can't pass block, it's hard to find snaps to have you out there, right? And if we know you can't block and you could only catch, then I could put a safety on you. Yeah, you become a tail.
Yeah.
So now I have to limit the amount of snaps that you could even be on the field. And that's why we have these situations, dog. So this is another list I have, right? This is showing by value the best tight end drafted in the year they were drafted. And again, we're going to start at 2010. The year that Jermaine Gresham got drafted, first tight end off the board, first ballot Hall of Famer Rob Gronkowski came in the second round. 2011, Kyle Rudolph, second round. Best tight end for that year. 2012, second round, Kobe Fleener. 2013, Travis Kelce was a third overall pick. I mean, third round pick, 63rd overall. That sucks. That sucks. Like, that hurts. That hurt, man. So you got the 2 best tight ends of their era, second and third round respectively. And let's keep going, man. Eric Ebron, and that's how bad it was. Eric Ebron was the best tight end in his draft class, nigga.
Yeah, who else was in
Nigga,
that draft class? God
2014 was
damn.
disgusting. If Eric Ebron was the best, that was a bad draft, man. Woof.
PU,
2015,
man.
Darren Waller, bro, best tight end of his draft class, bro. Drafted in the 6th round, bro. 2017, Austin Hooper, 3rd round. 2017 in the 5th round, easily the 3rd best tight end in his generation, George Kittle, Mark Andrews, T.J. Hockenson again, Cody Kmet, Kyle Pitts. Woof, another bad one, man. 2021, man. Kyle Pitts is the best, man. It's rough. Woof. That's rough. So, and again, I'm not trying to shit on Tyler Warren. I'm not. But based on the history going back to past 9 drafts, the history says that these first round tight ends are more than likely not going to be the best tight ends that get drafted. So with that information, how do you feel, my boy? With that information that I just provided, my boy.
Well, look, Herbie, I brought up the Tyler Warren thing earlier because I said if he happens to fall, if he's on the board and the Dolphins draft him, listen, man, I wasn't going to be mad about it, Herbie, but the Dolphins do have other needs, right? We do have a need for offensive line. Hopefully Will Campbell might be there, Kevin Banks Jr. But listening to what you said, it does have me thinking, and knowing the Dolphins, it's not even just what you said, Herbie. It's also the team that's drafting, the Dolphins. What are the odds the Dolphins are going to be the second team back-to-back to get a superstar tight end in the 1st round, which hasn't happened in, it seems like not in over 2 decades plus. Listen, if the Dolphins draft Tyler Warren, Herbie, I'll cross my fingers. How about that?
Oh, you have no choice. Hey, what else can you do? Like,
I cross my fingers.
What else can you do?
I'll cross my fingers and hope
what else can you do?
Hope that what I seen will translate to the NFL as good as I hope.
And trust me, I get it. I get it, dude. If you have a dominant tight end, you have the ultimate mismatch. Like, that's why they keep trying to find it. It's just the ultimate chess piece on offense. Every good offense has a good tight end. Like, that's not a coincidence. Every single good offense has a good tight end, or an effective offense, I should say, because the Chiefs are not always a good offense, but once it gets to the playoffs, they're very effective because they have a good tight end. But I just want the draft community to be honest and acknowledge that every guy can't be a can't miss prospect if everybody's a can't miss prospect. So, like,
well, let me ask you this, Herbie. Let me ask you this: Are you just objecting to drafting him in the 1st round period? Like, you don't even think he's a late 1st round pick?
No, I think he's awesome. I think he's special. I think he could be amazing. I'm just saying, for whatever reason, if you draft him in the 1st round, then he's gonna suck. It's the football gods. This ain't got shit to do with me. Like, the football gods determined this, dog. I have nothing to do with this. Like, the football guy said, all right, we'll give y'all one, bro, so y'all can stop crying, bro. Here go Brock Bowers, bro. Here go one. You finally got a can't miss run. We finally got one. Here, nigga.
But here's the thing.
Here, nigga, damn.
You open the floodgates when you do that, right? Because now teams in the league see, oh, shit. So 1st round tight ends do work. So,
right.
It opens the floodgates.
Listen, you know how we feel about Chris Sims. We don't always agree, but we always respect his opinion and respect his honesty. Chris Sims is talking about there might be 3 1st round tight ends because Brock Bowers really did open the floodgates, because Brock Bowers was the prince that was promised. It was supposed to be Eric Ebron. It was supposed to be Kyle Pitts, but they finally got one with Brock Bowers. Now everybody's saying, you see, this is why you need a great tight end. We know, we understand. Y'all just keep picking the wrong ones in the 1st round because y'all actually don't know how to identify the traits that matter. And history says that. All the stats say that. Everything that we've seen up until this point says that. Kyle Pitts was supposed to be the most can't miss prospect I've ever heard. They compared him to Calvin Johnson. That dude is, I'm not going to say trash, but woof. Absolutely, man. Copycat league, man. You feel me? And let me get to this one right here, bro. Kittle, the blueprint for blocking and catching. Absolute. He is the perfect tight end of the modern era. He is an elite blocker. He is an elite weapon in the backfield. He's an elite pass catcher, bro. They don't come on trees, but we keep pretending that they do. We just got to acknowledge that great tight ends, special tight ends, are way more rare than they are, and we don't know how to identify them because there's no way that a multi-time probably going to be a first or second ballot Hall of Famer. George Kittle went in the 5th rounder, right? So what you can't tell me he got that much better. The film had to be consistent. We just don't. The draft community does not know how to identify what actually matters and how these guys are going to transition to the NFL. But they keep telling you that. They keep saying it's going to be this guy's this guy. He's the one. He's the one that's not going to miss, bro, and he misses. And they've been missing for 9 out of the past 10 years they've missed, bro. Let me get this right here, man. To homie Randy said, I know you're a Cowboys fan. How you feel about Joe Milton getting traded to y'all boys? You think, like Shady said, Dak need to get in touch with a realtor? Pitts ain't getting a second contract from us. That's cold, man. You don't want that black man to get a second contract, man. You a dirty down Falcons fan, man. That's messed up, man. That's cold, man. That's cold.
Hey, but you know what's funny about that though, Herbie? Because when we all keep up with the internet and how fans
for sure,
and how they are, right? Every time I see a Falcons fan talk about Kyle Pitts, I've never seen a Falcons fan be like, let's go Kyle Pitts. Never.
Man,
never in my life. Every Falcons fan I know hates this man, dog. They hate this man, Herbie. They hate this. You know what he reminds me of? Falcons fans remind me of my Ted Ginn days. I hated Ted Ginn Jr., Herbie.
Everybody got one, bro. Every fan base got that one player, man. And you know who my Kyle Pitts is, man? Dak Prescott, man. Yeah, that nigga need to find a realtor, nigga. Pack your bags, nigga. Pack your motherfucking bags. I'll pack them for you, nigga, free of charge. Get out of my life. Get out of my life. Nah, man, unfortunately, Dak is here for the long haul, man. That $60 million ain't coming off the books, man. So Joe Milton could kill it. Joe Milton must got the best PR team in the world, bro, because Joe Milton took whatever he did in that preseason, that game that did not matter, with the Bills had their third stringers, and he has stretched that into being the great Black Hope, bro. So shout out to Joe Milton, man. Round of applause for Joe Milton, man.
Round of applause.
Round of applause for Joe Milton, man.
Round of applause, man.
All right, man. Let's move on to what we were gonna do, and then we're gonna get out of here, man. We kind of long, so we're just gonna go ahead and just shoot the shit and talk about some of the draft targets for the Miami Dolphins, man. So I know, Rod, you wanted to talk about Ja'Day Bowden. I know you wanted to. So we already talked about Tyler Warren, so we didn't got to double back with Tyler Warren, bro. Will Campbell and Will Johnson. Who else you had that you wanted to talk about, bro?
I had Kenneth Grant as well.
Kenneth, absolutely. We have to talk about Kenneth Grant. We got to talk about Kenneth Grant.
We can start with him. Go ahead.
No, we're saving Kenneth Grant for last. He has to go last. And there's one video why that he has to be the last person we talk about, man. So let's start with Will Campbell, because at first I thought you guys might have had a good chance of getting him, but I think people are more coming around to the fact that he might be, are comfortable with the 33-inch arms, bro. And there's not a guarantee, but we'll see how the board shapes out, man. But what do you like about Will Campbell?
Well, first and foremost, Herbie, if there's one thing that I always love about having offensive linemen, Herbie, I love guys that play with nastiness, which is something that I love when I see on film. When I see an offensive lineman, when I see one of these fat boys that plays tough, that plays angry, I fuck with it. But when you look at all the package that he has, Herbie, I mean, he has great size. You know what I'm saying? He has good quickness. He's a guy that he's a quality run blocker. He's one of those guys. He's an active blocker, a guy he'll go to the second level. You know what I'm saying? He's not just gonna stand around not knowing what the fuck to do. He's consistently moving the chains on the play. He's effective as a puller. You know what I'm saying? And listen, one of the best tell-alls, Herbie, is when you play well against the good college competition, which he does. He gets great depth on his drop, which helps to neutralize speed rushers. So, listen, man. I liked a lot of what I was seeing from him on film. The raw power. You could see that he's a good athlete. And another thing about him too, Herbie, I think he's a guy, unlike Kelvin Banks Jr., I actually think that I think Will Campbell's a guy who's a little bit more versatile, right? Like, you don't necessarily just have to slot him at tackle. I think you could slot him as a guard. I think you could slot him at center. So there are a lot of different ways that you could also use Will Campbell, and we need help on the interior, but he could also be a guy that backs up, one of our starters and when they get hurt, or he could be an offensive tackle starter depending on what we do at guard. So there's just a ton of like about him. He's a big fat boy, Herbie. He allowed 2 sacks last year. 6'6", 322 pounds, young guy, 20 years old. Good technique, uses his hands well. I think there's a lot to like about Will Campbell. And like you said, there's probably a good chance that we might not get him. The problem with that is Kelvin Banks Jr., while I do think he's a good offensive line prospect for the first round. I think taking him at 13 might be a bit of a reach. Like, I think we would be better off going for another position if Will Campbell's not there and we want O-line, but that's just my opinion. But man, I would listen, if Will Campbell happens to fall to us, that's a pick that I would be perfectly happy with.
Nah, I'm with you. So when you told me about the guys that you wanted to talk about, so and like I said, we talked about Tyler Warren, we talked about we're going to talk about Jahdae Brown Bowden, and we're going to talk about Kenny G. But I just said, you know what? I'm going to put the film on all of them. I did Will Johnson. I did Malachi Starks. I just did a bunch of people that are there for the Dolphins, right? And I gave everybody a minute and a half. It took 1 minute for me to watch Will Campbell, like really watch him. I'm like, oh, technician. That's it. Ain't nothing to talk about, bro. Technician. That's it. Good hands. Like, I do see the problems with the short arms because guys are really able to get in his chest. But other than that, he hasn't given up a sack in 3 seasons, bro. Like, at some point, you just gotta, hey, you're doing something right. You learn how to play within yourself and with your body. But you can see it, bro. Like, technician, dude ain't even getting close, man. Like, he ain't even getting close, man. So let's go on to Jahdae Browder, man. What did you feel about? Am I saying that dude's name right, bro?
Jahdae Barron.
Jahdae Barron, bro. So talk to me about Jahdae Barron, man.
So what I liked about Jahdae Barron, cornerback from Texas, what I like about him, Herbie, is that I like smart football players, Herbie. I like guys who display great football IQ. He's a ball hawk. He's a guy who has a nose for the ball. And when you're drafting DBs, Herbie, I think that's really important. I want a guy who happens to have a nose for the football, right? He's very versatile, right? He was excellent for them at the slot. They put him on the boundary and he became even better, right? He's a guy that you can play him in the box. He's a willing tackler. He's actually an effective blitzer as a DB. So I mean, look, he dissects plays well, especially in zone coverage. And the Dolphins are a team that, Weaver employs so many different kind of tactics and coverages and different formations, and a nice mix of man and zone. And he's a guy that could most definitely be smart enough, be instinctive enough to play in that kind of a defense. I could just imagine Jahdae Barron on the opposite of Jalen Ramsey, or maybe even putting him in the slot, right? There are so many different ways that you could use him. He's a quick guy. He has great hands, great instincts for the football. Listen, Herbie, one thing I like, man, I like a cornerback that can anticipate and has good route recognition. Like, those are attractive traits to me when I'm looking at a cornerback. He has those. He's a guy that he's a guy that has ball skills. He's a guy that has the instincts. You know what I'm saying? And he's tough. And that's one thing the Dolphins need, man. I want gritty, tough fucking players. And I think Jahdae Barron encapsulates a lot of the things we are looking for, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And we still are in need of another cornerback to go along with Ramsey and the guys that we have back there. I know Malachi Starks is also like another popular choice. I wouldn't be upset with that either, but I have my eyes in terms of DBs with the pick at 13, Jahdae Barron, bro.
Hey, listen, I'm with you 100%. When I just started doing them, I'm like, okay, quick, smooth, very fast, and like you said, instinctual, bro. And I was like, why I can't get excited about my team, bro? Like, I don't even care about my draft at this point. I'm looking at dudes for the Dolphins, bro. I don't give a shit about the Cowboys, man. But you know what? You know what did excite me though when I was doing this, dog? You know what excited me, bro? Listen, no, shout out to Malachi Stark, shout out to Kelvin Banks Jr., shout out to Will Campbell, shout out to Jahdae Barron, bro. But there's one guy, Rod, and I fell in love with him, dog. His name, and shout out to the homie Martin, bro. He called him Kenny G. Absolute specimen, dog. Shout out to the Fat Boys, man. Fat Boys is up, man. Fat Boys is up. Look at what Kenny G is doing. Look at what Kenny G is doing. This is a running back. This is a running back. He hooked down a running back.
Oh,
how can you get anybody but him?
Dude.
Look at this.
Oh, my God.
If I'm the Penn State running back, I would never go. I wouldn't even walk in the practice room, bro. You got hawked down by a 39-pound D tackle, bro.
Oh my!
This is nuts. This is nuts. I can't not watch this enough. He had 10 yards on him and he still hawked them, dog. This is crazy.
And Herbie, look at how big that man is to be moving that fucking fast, Herbie. Look at that, dog.
I don't want to, bro. When I seen this,
oh my God,
I didn't watch anything else. I didn't need anything else. He's the number one player in the draft, man. Kenny G is the number one player in the draft, man. Best player in the draft, man. Round of applause for Kenny G, man. Kenny G, man. That dude is a unit. If I'm the running back for Penn State, man, I would have showed my face, dog. You got hawked by a tackle, my nigga. That's crazy, bro. That is crazy. Rod, I lost you, man.
No, I'm here.
Okay, Dad, you was froze, my boy. I was like, no, don't do that to me.
No, I was reading something. You good, man?
That's a monster. Absolutely.
Hey, listen, Martin, there's a reason why that he is the guy. Because number one, I don't think he'll be the first D tackle taken, right? Like
it's gonna be Mason Graham. It's gonna be Mason Graham.
And Mason Graham is a blue chip talent. Don't get me wrong. Clearly a blue chip talent, right? But dude, you look at dude, Kenneth Grant is a massive. He's a mammoth, Herbie.
He's a mammoth.
He's a mammoth, and here's the thing, Herbie. He's a mammoth, so you know that comes with him being big. You know that comes with him. You know that comes with strength, but the athleticism, the quickness, the agility,
the feet, and so so I'm a heavy set dude. So I'm obviously always gonna have love for the big guys, bro. I love Vita Vea. I love Dexter Lawrence. When I saw him, and again, I'm not saying he's dumb, but fuck the size. He is a massive man that has ballerina feet. His feet are insane for his size. They're so fast. And he has such short area quickness to be carrying that. That is a large load, man. That is look at the determination, the want, and the will to not give up on this. Look at the feet. Look at the feet. That is nuts.
He hawked down a running back, man.
He hawked down a running back. He is a monster, dog.
And you know what, Herbie? And I've been dreaming of having like a monster D tackle like that, right? Because what's one of the most effective things you can do in the NFL on defense is have a guy who's like a Chris Jones, who's like an Aaron Donald, a guy who can push the pocket from the interior and completely disrupt the quarterback's rhythm. Because that interior pressure disrupts quarterbacks more than edge pressure. So I look at a guy like Kenneth Grant. I look at a guy like Chop Robertson, who we have. We have Jalen Phillips, who's recovering from injury. The Dolphins have options on the edge. We need a guy that can complement Zach Sealer on the inside. And when I was looking at guys, I knew we weren't going to get Mason Graham. But when I hopped on Kenneth Grant's tape, I said, "Oh my God, I hope this nigga falls to us at 13, bro."
Nah, for sure, bro.
Like we get that. Like he looks like a certified.
I done got the wrong film, bro. This nigga all in our way, bro. We about to just go ahead and hit the back on you, my boy. No disrespect, man. We support what you got going on, but we ain't trying to get copyrighted from you, my boy. So we just gonna leave that situation. You know what I'm saying? My bad, my boy. You know what I'm saying? But when I seen it, I'm like, yo, this dude's a monster, bro. Like. And if he sucks, the only reason why he sucks is because he got to the NFL and he decided to get lazy. But physical skill set, size, position, and need, you can never have enough of D tackles, bro. Like, I was like, yeah, this dude's, look at that, bro. Look at that. That is, I would piss my pants if that was coming at me, dog. Like, are you crazy? Like, are you crazy? Nasty, mean, aggressive. Oh,
Dude, his bull rushes. I mean, the way he sheds blocks, Herbie. He has no problem anchoring the defense, man. I mean, dude, you want to talk about a guy with gap discipline? Like my nigga, like he's everything that you want in a fucking D tackle, bro.
It's
Like,
this is impressive stuff, man. I just love seeing an athletic fat boy, man. It just tickles my
it
tummy,
warms your heart,
man.
bro. It warms
It
your
warms
heart,
my
man.
heart, man. I
His
love
heart
it, man.
warms.
I love it, man. I love it, man. All right, with that though, man. Any last words before we get up out of here, my boy?
Listen, man, as always, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the people who going, you know what I'm saying, slide on this. You feel me, Herbie?
Absolutely,
listen,
man.
the draft is right around the corner. And obviously, once we got the draft over with, man, we kick the offseason into the next phase. You feel me, man? But until then, man, I hope y'all do good, man. Y'all
Hey, you know we gotta do our shout outs before we get out of here, man.
Yes,
True, Martin, Kurt G Baby, Randy, everybody that was in the chat, man. Round of applause for the chat, bro. We love y'all, bro. We appreciate the support. Y'all was here for us. Hopefully this was an entertaining and informational episode for y'all, man. We try to give the takes that a lot of people don't give, and if we do it, we try to do it in depth, man. But with that, though, I do have one more hot take, bro. And this is a pop culture hot take, man. This is not about football, but I just got to get this off my chest, man. Michael B. Jordan is not a good actor, bro. Let's just call a spade, man. Hey, let's just call a spade, man. And this man movie, I'm about to get not one, but two Michael B. Jordan. So I got to see him act bad twice in the same movie. All right, bro. This is going to be up, bro. I just needed to get that off my chest, man. I just needed to get that off my chest, man. I'm sorry. I know that was a stray. I know that man called a stray. That was fucked up, but yeah, bro. I needed to get that one off my chest, man. But with that, man, deuces, man. Appreciate everybody, man. Appreciate y'all, man.
Appreciate y'all, man. All the love in the world, man. Appreciate y'all, man.
Go.